What we're referring to, if you missed it, is there was an official blog post that was put up by Xbox. It has been since taken down, but it had a headlining graphic showcasing I'm assuming a new UI that is currently in development. And in this UI, it was very noticeable that up at the top, where you could select the different options of like owned games, installed games, Game Pass, there was a nice little button that said Steam right up there at the top, leading to the long, like rumored, and we've talked about here on the show of the partnership and the integration of Steam and Xbox in some capacity. And it's also kind of interesting to note, just if some other things that we've talked about recently, just activating this last episode, that the next Xbox is not really a traditional console. It's a PC and a TV friendly shell.
Yes.
So kind of more leaning in that direction of, okay, this is seeming to be more of a reality. Then there was also a report just this week from Windows Central as well, that Xbox is going away from their quote unquote era environment and transitioning over to Windows 32 to more align all game development to a PC standard, essentially, which I feel like can further push the narrative that, yeah, Steam is coming, to Xbox in some capacity for some sort of integration, which is something that we've talked about ad nauseum almost, because they're like, all the signs have been there. I mean, I think the signs go all the way back to this whole huge lawsuit going on where Xbox is handing out these Call of Duty deals left and right, and when they hand one to Steam, Gabe said, "No, I'm not going to sign it. I trust Xbox." So it's like, I think even going back to then, I think the signs and the seeds were planted, especially even with more reports that we talked about in the weekly wrap up. Like, God bless, like. Maybe a month ago, that Steam was wanting to get back into the console market.
Yeah.
So it's like all the stars are aligning that some sort of partnership was going to happen, especially when you look at the state of Xbox and like it's kind of dying. They're just sending all the games out to be multi-plat. The console sales are at the lowest it's ever been in terms of just like in the life of the brand itself. Obviously, the series has outsold the one, which is great, but it's still not selling up to par. So it's like it kind of makes sense that Xbox would kind of take this approach with a massive name like Steam. So now that my question for you guys is like, I feel like it's kind of confirmed, but it's like, how are we feeling about it? Because I know one big complaint was like, that we all talked about and had was like kind of differentiating the different libraries and shops and stuff like that. But, how are we feeling about it? And, I guess, is this in your mind 100% kind of locked in?
I mean, I don't think it's 100% locked in. I mean, all we have is it said Steam. So we don't actually know what that would all entail in terms of what will all be connected to Steam. We can assume that it's going to be the entire somehow Steam store added on to this new hybrid console PC thing.
Yeah.
But we truly don't really know for sure what all it's going to entail, because just look at the Game Pass currently. It has the PC and the console Game Pass, which that may change the current divide of stuff that's on console Game Pass versus PC Game Pass. Once we get that new OS and sort its all PC merger, that may disappear and make it more easier accessible. But currently we do have that split of, we have certain things that are on the console Game Pass, but not the PC, and vice versa.
Right.
Which most of the PC extra stuff is just like slightly exclusive things on games literally you can't play on console.
Yeah, like a good example would be like, let's say like the Riot stuff.
Yes.
You can link your Riot account and have all champions in League or all the tacticians in TFT, just as an example. Yeah. So yeah, and another thing to think about with what you said is that, I mean, this integration could come sooner rather than later, and it strictly be for like PC Game Pass, like the PC UI and stuff. So I could see that too.
I still want to see what the UI actually ends up looking like from like the screenshot we saw of it. We see like a Steam icon. I'm still curious what that actually looks like,
right?
Especially like because it has the category of like owned games, but then you go to Steam, like the Steam button. You go to Steam. It's like, will the games you own on Xbox that are available on Steam be accessible in that menu as well?
Mm-hmm.
Or anything that you buy, does it strictly go to owned and then have a notification on like the Steam or the different shops saying that you own it?
Right.
It's like, I'd be curious at that. The one thing I'm hoping ends up happening, if this is like does officially get announced and everything with Xbox, is like changing what they're calling their next console, like PC, like
TV friendly
TV
shell.
friendly shell. Hopefully, if it does anything, hopefully that helps optimize PC ports for games. Because if all Xbox is going to be is essentially a PC in a different box, hopefully we'll get better PC ports.
I think it'll be called Next Steam.
Next Steam. Come on now.
I hope not. But yeah, I mean that's the best I can really hope out of this, is because a lot of people still wait to play the games when they come to PC.
Right.
And if Xbox is essentially just going to be a standardized PC in a box that you buy, like that you just hook up to your TV, hopefully they optimize better.
Right.
Because right now we're constantly getting. I mean, hell, one of the biggest games of the year so far, Monster of Wild, was a poorly optimized game. So, or at least had a bunch of like graphical errors and didn't run well on like mid-range PCs apparently. So, hopefully that gets fixed if all of this ends up being true.
Right, right. And something else that I was thinking about with this move is that I feel like this move is something that could, when I say this, I don't mean like, oh my God, they're about to rise to the top. That's just not going to happen. That ship is long sailed, obviously. But I feel like this sort of move could save the Xbox brand, because I think we can all agree the Xbox brand is kind of dying.
Yeah.
It is. Like, I mean, even like Phil Spencer, he is now known as the CEO of Microsoft Gaming, not the CEO of Xbox, just as an example. So I feel like this sort of move, like, it could save the Xbox brand in the extent of, all right, it's going to at least hang around for a while, right? But then again, I say that, and they could just completely transition. It's just like, oh, yeah, we're just known as at Microsoft Gaming now. Xbox is now retired. That's totally possible.
That's very likely too.
Yeah, very likely and possible. But it does feel like, them doing this sort of move, this sort of transaction, it has that possibility. It's like, okay, Xbox is kind of here to stay. It'll never be a top dog, right? It's just not going to happen. But it's at least here to stay. That's kind of one little vibe that I get out of this, is that this could be like a little bit almost of a saving grace, and just kind of again trying to appeal to that PC audience.
I mean, do you think that like in the next 5 years or so we just do away with the Xbox name?
I think
because
it's
right
possible.
now it's like they've like you said, they've already transitioned it to Microsoft Gaming. It's like, I mean, you could just completely rebrand Xbox and literally just call it Game Pass,
Yeah.
because it's like that they don't push Xbox anymore. All they push is Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's like they've got everybody. When you think of Xbox, you think of Game Pass. So they almost could just get away with the name Xbox and just refer to it as Game Pass.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's all their marketing is anyway.
It really
It's
is.
Like, that's why you buy an Xbox these days.
And the whole thing with this is an Xbox, all with Game Pass.
Yep. And speaking of, shout out to Steve in the chat, because he did ask, so when did PlayStation get access to Xbox exclusives like, Forza? And it's like, Forza was the big one, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like you got like the big three for Microsoft and Xbox with Halo, Forza, and Gears. Like that's kind of like your
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves as well. Yeah, I mean, like, in terms of like really notable properties, like those are your big dogs. You know what I mean? It's like Forza getting over to PlayStation. That's a bigger deal than a lot of people realize. So it's like, that's going to be the domino that's going to continue to fall, where you're going to see Gears come to it, which may happen this year. Apparently, we'll get to that in the weekly wrap up. And eventually, we're going to see Halo on PlayStation. It's
'cause they've already
it's going
said
to
it, yeah.
happen. Like, they're open to it. He also said Xbox should be the model, not the brand.
I mean, I could see that.
I can see that too.
But again, I mean,
It's the same thing as like Sony, PlayStation, Xbox, Microsoft Gaming. I can see that.
well, I mean, then it sort of kills the whole Microsoft gaming. They're focusing more on making Microsoft the model rather than Xbox.
Right.
It's like as you mentioned, just the last couple of years they've moved away from adding Xbox's stuff and just either Microsoft Game Pass.
Yeah, especially with like moving away from calling it a console itself and calling it a PC. It's not Xbox anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, we're still gonna have a couple years of every showcase seeing this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, but that's probably going to go away in favor of whatever they call their new strategy, whether it be Game Pass or whether they just call it Microsoft Gaming or whatever they call the box itself.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I feel like at this point, if they held on to the Xbox even as a model, that's more or less just a nostalgia thing, and I don't think that'll really hold a whole lot, honestly.
Yeah, like, the more that we're kind of talking about this, the more I'm kind of picturing in my head, yeah, whatever this next thing is, I don't think it's going to be called an Xbox.
Because I mean, at this point, it's a nostalgia thing, and I'd rather like to keep the Xbox. If we're really going to make it nostalgia, just let it actually be nostalgia, and don't keep bringing it up and letting it die more.
Right, yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I could see that because, again, the more I think about it, like, I could see that next console just not even being called Xbox. It's going to be some new name, some new wacky name, whatever
Just
it's going
like
to
some
be.
Microsoft's 840. I don't know.
Microsoft 840. Just something random, who cares, right?
This is the Microsoft New Vista.
Just something, who knows?
Let's go down a rabbit hole in my head over here since Zach mentioned Sea of Thieves.
Oh, yeah.
Because, it's not mentioned as much, but remember when Sea of Thieves came out?
Yep.
Disaster.
And it was a disaster.
Yeah.
Like, not a whole lot to do. Look at it now. It's Sea of Thieves. Like, everybody refers to No Man's Sky as the one who turned it around. Look at Sea of Thieves. It's in the same ballpark.
It is.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a little bit serious. 'Cause No Man's Sky was more of a broken mess with not a whole lot to do and a lot of bad publicity, which everyone took as false advertising and a lie. Versus Sea of Thieves, it was a game that came out that was actually okay, very minimal
Yeah.
glitches, just no content.
Yeah.
Right.
No Man's Sky was just they overpromised for what they delivered.
Correct.
Kind of like Starfield in a way, except like No Man's Sky had its own unique gameplay loop.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there was nothing to do in the game, which
And it
is
wasn't-
kind of why I say they're kind of the same thing. Because Sea of Thieves, at its core, was a fun game.
Yes.
There's just nothing to do.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot to do.
And it's like now it's like a juggernaut,
juggernaut,
for Microsoft. I was just thinking about that over here. I'm like, man, it's like Xbox sitting over there. They just got a juggernaut that like nobody thought it was going to turn into that.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just festered. It is the peak pirate game of this current generation and previous generation.
Yeah, yeah. And meanwhile, there's Skull and Bones.
I was going to say there's a new peak out there, Zach.
No,
The quadruple A Skull and Bones.
not for the pirate experience, because you can only get on your ship in that one. That's just straight up naval battles, guys. And it's not even great naval battles.
Yeah, yeah. I think I told you guys this. I once on a blue moon, I was get a random comment on like the old like Sea of Thieves, like not Sea of Thieves, Skull and Bones video that we've got. We've got a couple of them, just like little clips from Weekly Wrap Up, whatever. And there was one recently. I think it was the clip where it's just about like year 2 content planned for Skull and Bones. You guys remember that? Yeah, just like a week ago, I had someone comment on it, like hyping up Skull and Bones and stuff. I'm like, I'm glad it's good for you, buddy, but I don't think any of us are even going to entertain that.
I guess we need to stop taking shots at Skull and Bones, I guess. Apparently, its community is stronger than fucking
than we thought.
Division.
Yeah. They've got their own small community.
I'm gonna be
out
honest, it
there.
lasted longer than the Division, because Division's dead. Or not Division.
I was gonna say Division's still there. I don't think they're happy right now, but they're there.
What was their shooter?
Whose? Oh, X Defiant.
Yes, that one.
Yeah,
because X
X-Defiant.
Defiant's dead.
Yeah, rip X Defiant.
No, Stan, don't rip it.
Rip.
It was the entertaining flavor of the month.
It was. It was. Shout out to it being the flavor of the month.
Now, meanwhile, we could just sit over here and hope for a new Division game at some point.
Or heck, even a good update.
Yeah, hope and pray, right?
Division 2's been around for so long.
It's getting close to Destiny 2 of we
they
should
came-
cut it off, guys.
Yeah, just end this.
They came out not too far apart from each other.
No.
Just like Destiny and Destiny 2.
Yeah, it's just like Division 2 just sat there because I remember when it came out. I used to talk about it. I was like, man, look at like Destiny 2. Everybody's mad and hates the game. Meanwhile, you got Division 2 sitting over there quiet, just enjoying it.
Yeah, just enjoying its time.
Now it's just sitting there with no new content.
I was just sitting there. And people are like, please, can we get something?
Can we give us something?
Right.
No, go play X Defiant.
No, now we got Fragpunk.
Well, that's not
That's not a flavor of the
that's not
month.
Ubisoft.
I know it's not Ubisoft or Flavor of the Month, but I'm saying now we have a new, fun FPS game to play. So, anything of the past, we can just leave it alone.
No, we can't. We take shots at stuff all the time.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of what we do. It's gonna get us sued again at some point.
I don't know.
Well, we
how.
didn't get sued. This show didn't get sued.
No.
I almost got sued with another show, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah, we just take shots at people.
I was like
Yeah.
to say we're not illegally using their content or anything.
Whoa. Let's not dive too much into the weeds here, buddy. Oh, geez. Shout to ATFS. Almost got sued. You should go listen to the show. But no, with the whole Steam thing, I'll just be curious on if this summer will be the reveal, or if this is gonna like hold off. Because I mean, obviously, if you got the UI in works, it's coming sooner rather than later. You know what I mean? If you've got this UI that you put on a graphic by accident, it's coming. So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, is it going to be revealed this summer? It's kind of like, and if it does get revealed this summer, like my personal take, it won't be coming to console. I think it's just going to be just a PC thing, because I think they're going to fully go full steam ahead with whatever this next console is.
Boo.
That's my thoughts. So
It'd be a bit weird to have it on PC, like only on PC,
Right.
because it's like I'm not gonna go to my Xbox app to look at Steam games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would die on PC because everyone already has Steam on their PC.
yeah.
Yeah, my Steam is always up on my second monitor. Meanwhile, the Xbox app gets opened up once a week so I can check what's been added there, unless I'm actively playing something.
So yeah, no, if it is getting integrated, it would ideally have to be
It would have to be on console,
on the
ideally,
Yes.
but I just don't know if it will, because I feel
mean,
like
it's-
I
it
feel
would
like they're
have
ready to
to
ship
be.
sail.
I mean, it would,
Sell ship.
it would not be on current consoles. It would only be future.
Yeah, that's
would
what I
be-
mean.
It would be an announcement saying coming with their next system or like
Yeah,
our next
something like that.
device.
Yeah.
This
no,
will be there.
yes, we're in agreement that it would not show up on current systems.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. Is that if they announce it, let's say this summer, it'll come to PC but not console for now. That's what I mean. It won't come to the series.
See that they
wouldn't-
they shouldn't even mention
Yeah,
current.
they-
They should just say what John said. Our next.
Yeah.
It's like we're
Console.
currently working on the next iteration of like a home system here at Microsoft. Coming with it, we will have this update.
Yep.
Look forward to hearing more information on it and leave it at that.
Yep.
The big kicker is they get Phil Spencer on stage, and he bows before Gabe Newell as he addresses a Steam Xbox merger.
Please get them both on the stage.
I was gonna say, you
together.
think Gabe shows up to that, or they just have him on a video monitor and have
Oh, he's all going to be on a video monitor. Gabe's not going to show up. Gabe doesn't show up to that stuff
But he shows up at people's houses.
to give them Steam Decks.
Yes.
the man knows his marketing.
Dude, man knows his marketing.
Yeah.
He's like,
he
I'm
knows
not going to
what's
show
up.
up at any of your shows, but I'm going to be in the community. I'm going to hand them stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna personally give them a Steam Deck, and they're gonna remember that for the rest of their life and buy my
Hey,
shit.
you want a Steam Deck?
They're gonna buy the Steam Deck 2 because I gave them the Steam Deck 1. He's building his community. He knows his people. Shout out to Gabe. And shout out to whatever this partnership is. I am looking forward to seeing what it's going to be. It's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. I will say that.